I need to do something about this hole underneath our flashing, that's what it is. But it is a long way down. So I'll have to ask for a professional person who doesn't mind going on the roof to help with that. Otherwise, if I don't, I'm going to leave a spot where birds are just going to love to come in. And it'll be nice and warm and they'll just come in and they'll poop everywhere. I went out to clean outside where my kitchen window is, and the birds have pooped all over that windowsill. So I want to prevent that happening to the plastic that I'm going to put up here to prevent condensation. And I also don't want the birds coming in to poop on our new furniture like they did on our swing seat that we had here. I just want to show you something. See, I'll zoom in. The air conditioner up there, that tiny little space above it. We get birds getting in there and nesting on top of that. It's just, oh sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. Let me see. Not very good at camera work, am I? There we go, we get birds nesting in on that. I was going to buy some more timber, this pink painted stuff, it's the right diameter. Now it's $20, see that? Another tip I want to show you. See how my eaves are quite nice along this section? Well, I had to repaint them myself before our pool was rebuilt after a storm. We had a tree fall in it. And I had to do it myself because I'd arranged for a friend to come and help put in the liner the next day. So that was my job. I'll show you why. Hang on a second. Can you see this? Well, this has already been painted twice by a professional painter. The first time he painted it was on a winter's day and it was raining. But he said, "It's dry under the eaves, Sue. I can easily do it. It's not a problem." I said, "Look, I really think it's a mistake." And he said, "No, look, I've got good paint. It'll be fine." Well, 18 months later, it looked almost like this. Wasn't quite as bad as it is now. So I had to get him back and I had to get him to scrape it and clean it up and redo it. And he did that. But obviously he didn't clean it up enough. And he scraped it and redid it and he used a different paint and it's still like that again. I don't know how he prepared his surface, but he didn't do what I did. Last weekend my daughter and I did all this. This was just as bad as what you saw around the corner. Because when I did the pool I only got to that point there. I was working in a real hurry in a real short space of time. So this all had to be stripped down. We stripped it first, we scrubbed it, we scraped it, and then it left all little marks where we've been scraping. So I decided I'd squirt the hose onto it. And unfortunately, water on it made it peel back even further. So I had to scrape it again. The hose chipped off more paint than anything. It was really good for cleaning up this balustrading, getting rid of rubbish on this balustrading that needed to be painted before we cover it as well. So Alana, I did the cleaning and Alana did some scraping, and she's also done a whole lot of painting for me, which is really terrific. We've made a mess of this. We've forgotten to paint that bit. Anyway. Oh no, that's actually primed. Sorry. You can see that bit there, if this is working well. You can see that that's got primer on it that we had left over, that rust kill stuff. I thought we'd done it all. We had to do that bit there. Oh, this is another thing too. This company made this lovely lattice for me. They made it, this is the second lot they made. I actually, when I ordered it with cream on the inside and 2 shades darker on that side, so it was a nice contrast. The first time they sent it to me, it was this shade on the outside and this shade on the lattice part and the cream on the outside. So I said, no, I want it redone, because I just paid my painter to paint everything this shade here, which is another shade darker again. And do you know what happened? They sent the lattice back to me Another time, oh, and I'd asked for them to put the shade cloth in, because the whole idea was when we sat on the swing seat, we could not sit there without getting the sun in our eyes in winter. It was too low, and it was just not as pleasant as it could be. So bullnose veranda didn't suit our situation, but one of my building clients suggested lattice, and I said, oh look, I hate lattice, you've got to paint it over and over again and it always looks shabby. He said, no, Sue, get this stuff, it's beautiful. So I went and I had a look at it, and it was beautiful, and you can get some lovely contrasts, but they didn't make a big enough contrast, so you can see the different shades of paint. Anyway, the second time they sent it to me, I said, oh look, it doesn't matter. It wasn't worth them doing it a third time. I'm not that hard on people, because they would have lost a lot of money redoing it, because they'd cut it to my sizing. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it from the distance. You can't tell the difference. Last night we painted this in the kitchen, or at least I did. Some of the sides already had paint on them. That's pieces of leftover timber from out the front veranda that the builder left behind, and I've just cut it down with our Triton workbench, and it's going to help me put up the plastic that I need to put up. Painted it because some of it was raw timber, but I've turned it over now and found that it's all got paper stuck to it. I'm going to try plastic next time, and I think I'll try putting it on its edge. It's like that, leaning on a cardboard box, so it's got very little surface to touch and stick to stuff. That's the only ideas I can come up with at this stage to make it stop sticking to the plastic even. This is what I meant about putting the timber on an angle. So it's got very little points touching and nothing will stick, hopefully. I'll just move this. Yep, it's really good. Okay, much better than leaving it flat. We painted it over there, stood it over here, although my daughter helped and she tended to paint just where she was. Okay, next tip. Alana's come up with a good method for making sure that the boards don't stick to the big boxes that are supporting them. She's just put a little skewer underneath. That way you don't get paper or anything else on them.